Dear shareholders, good morning and a very warm welcome to the 14th Annual General Meeting of Aster DM Healthcare Limited through video conferencing or other audio-visual facility. As a reminder, for the smooth conduct of the meeting, the members will be in the mute mode, and audio and video will be open when they will speak at the AGM as per the pre-registration. Please note that, per the requirements, the proceedings of the annual general meeting will be recorded and available on the website of the company. I now hand over the proceedings to Dr. Azad Mopin, Founder Chairman and Managing Director of Aster DM Healthcare Limited. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, dear shareholders. Good morning to you all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 14th Annual General Body Meeting of your company. Hope all of you are in good health. This AGM is being held through video conference in accordance with the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. Please note that, as per the requirements, the proceedings of the annual general body meeting will be recorded and available on the website of the company. A live streaming of this meeting is also being webcast on the website of NSDL. We have requisite forum present through video conference to conduct the proceedings of this meeting. Participation of members through video conference is being reckoned for the purpose of quorum as per the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and Section 103 of Companies Act 2013. The quorum being present, I call this meeting to order. I would now like to introduce your board members who have joined this meeting. Ms. Alisha Mopin, Deputy Managing Director of the company, who is also the Chairperson of the Risk Management Committee, is attending this AGM from Dubai. Dr. James Matthew, Independent Director of the company and the Chairperson of the Audit Committee and Stakeholders Relationship Committee, is attending this AGM from Dubai. Professor Biju Varki, Independent Director of the company and the Chairperson of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee, is attending this meeting from Ahmedabad. Dr. Laila Hassan Al Marzouki, Independent Director of the company, is attending this meeting from Dubai. Mr. Sridhar Iyengar, Independent Director of the company, is attending this meeting from California, USA. Mr. T.J. Wilson, Director of the company, is attending this AGM from Dubai. Mr. Anup Mopin, Director, is attending this AGM from Dubai. Mr. Daniel Mintz, Director of the company, is attending this meeting from New York, USA. We also have Mr. Srinath Reddy, Group CFO, Mr. Hemish Purushottam, Company Secretary, and Sunil Kumar, the CFO India, and Amitabh Johri, the CFO for GCC, joining this meeting. I would like to acknowledge the participation of the partners or authorized representatives of our statutory auditors, Deloitte Haskins & Sells, and the secretarial auditors, M. Damodaran and Associates LLP, Company Secretary. Due to preoccupancy, some of the directors could not attend the meeting and have conveyed their regards to the shareholders. I now request the team to play a short corporate video on the journey Aster DM Healthcare had, and after that, I will continue my speech. Thank you.
Aster DM Healthcare was founded on aspirations to make quality healthcare services accessible for people at an affordable cost. From a humble beginning as a one-doctor clinic in Dubai in 1987, the institution's growth as a leading and trusted healthcare company is a testimony to its commitment for over 35 years. one of the largest integrated healthcare networks with 630 plus world-class facilities comprising of 27 hospitals, 120 clinics, 371 retail pharmacies, 114 labs and patient experience centers across the GCC, India and Jordan provide millions of people with care, comfort and quality healthcare services in their neighborhoods. The group's hospitals, including those that provide super specialty services and quaternary care, have a combined capacity of 5,065 beds. Through their brands, Medcare, Aster and Access, the group addresses the clinical needs of all segments of society, serving over 18.6 million patients globally. With a fast-growing integrated network to its credit, the company has become a significant employer that provides regular employment to over 25,800 people, including 3,279 doctors and 7,473 nursing and paramedical personnel. From the financial years 2014 to 15 to 2021 to 22, the company registered impressive growth in India by expanding its services across key regions. India's contribution to Aster's revenue has risen from 11% to 23% during this period. Financial year 2021 to 22 saw a turnover of Indian rupees 10,253 crores and an EBITDA of Indian rupees 1,483 crores. To encourage innovation in the healthcare industry and within the Aster network, Aster Innovation and Research Center was established to lead the dialogue with startups, scientists, researchers, and companies to introduce cutting-edge, need-of-the-hour solutions. Fast-tracking digital transformation and adoption of technology has led to the introduction of services like telehealth, e-commerce, home care, medical innovations like eICU, and remote monitoring, among others. Aster DM Healthcare has integrated UN Sustainable Development Goals into its operational model, with proactive measures being taken to protect the environment, be energy efficient, and conserve water while meeting the health requirements of the community in need. Through the integration of renewable energy, reduction in water, and energy consumption, approximately 1,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent reduction was achieved, and a 3 megawatt peak of solar photovoltaic installation is in progress. The company's ESG strategy, which is firmly rooted in its core values, code of conduct, CSR and governance policies, has helped Aster DM Healthcare to be ranked at number 94 in the Corporate Knights Top 100 Most Sustainable Corporations in the World list. Aster DM Healthcare is the only company from India and the Middle East to be featured in this list. Consistent with its founder, Dr. Azad Mupin's belief that medical care is a service to society and profit should be a byproduct, Aster has embarked on various social welfare and healthcare programs for the community in need. Aster Volunteer CSR program, which was launched in 2017, has emerged as a global platform with 45,000 volunteers who are bridging the gap between people who want to help and those in need of help. Through its numerous pillars, mobile medical services, recruitment and support of the differently abled, medical and wellness camps, free medical investigations and surgeries, basic life support, BLS awareness, and humanitarian aid programs, Aster volunteers have been able to impact 3.8 million plus lives globally. Aster volunteers have been instrumental in helping the victims of the 2018 Kerala floods that ravaged the region through grassroots intervention and medical aid. To support the underprivileged families who lost their houses, the Aster Homes initiative was launched, which is just finished building and handing over 255 new homes across Kerala, renewing their hope for a brighter future. Over the years, Aster volunteers and Aster's CSR efforts have been recognized through national and international awards like Arabia CSR Awards and Golden Peacock Awards among many others. To recognize the contribution of nurses to healthcare systems globally, the group launched the Aster Guardians Global Nursing Award. The initiative, which saw 24,000 nurses applying from 184 countries, emerged as a movement around International Nurses Day, gaining attention from the global healthcare community and governments. This year, Nurse Anna Kabali Duba from Marsabit County Referral Hospital in Kenya was adjudged as the winner, and a prize of $250,000 was awarded to her at a grand ceremony in Dubai. Over the years, governments and institutions have honored Dr. Azad Mupin's contribution to healthcare through several awards and recognitions. Notable among them is Padma Shri, the fourth highest civilian award in India. Forbes magazine recognized Dr. Mupin as one of the most powerful Indian leaders in the Arab world and one of the 100 most influential Indians in the world. The Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, presented him with a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2018. Recently, the Harvard Business Council awarded him for organizational excellence during one of the toughest times in recent history, the COVID-19 pandemic years. Adhering to the core values of compassion, integrity, respect, passion, unity and excellence, Aster DM Healthcare is moving forward with its aspiration of providing high-quality healthcare through technological advancements and innovations, while embracing the belief of a caring mission with a global vision to serve the world with accessible and affordable quality healthcare across growing geographies. Aster DM Healthcare continues to remain committed to its promise: we'll treat you well.
Once again, dear shareholders, it is my pleasure and privilege to address all of you with a sigh of relief as we are getting out of 2 years of living with COVID pandemic. As the world recovers from the clutches of a devastating pandemic, the significance of quality healthcare is being realized by all. While the pandemic has brought healthcare to the center stage, it also highlighted the requirement for preparedness against unexpected and unknown challenges in the future. While I deliver my speech, I just want to tell you that there may be some repetitions because this has come in the video which you have just seen, but I will be restricting myself from the prepared speech to avoid repetition as much as possible. In the last 2 years, have enforced the significance of a strong and resilient healthcare system like never before. The pandemic created an interdependence between the healthcare sector along with all other sectors in the economy, and the importance of the core sector to keep the life burden was actually realized. Countries around the world recognized the immense value of the sector and focused on improving healthcare spends as a priority. Many countries where the healthcare spend as part of GDP is very low are allocating more funds for strengthening this crucial sector. In India, if the present spend of less than 3% GDP doubles in 5 years, there will be exponential growth in public and private healthcare sector, which will serve and save millions, improving the quality of the life of the population. At Aster DM Healthcare, we have learned the importance of focusing on the 3 S to achieve this through the pandemic, at the time of the pandemic: the staff, the supplies, and the space. We have put into place default systems to address any future challenges and to offer the best care to our patients, even in any crisis. To provide care to the patients we serve, we realize that it is important to protect our staff who take care of the patients. And we also have to have seamless supply chain as well as to have access to space when required. So all this together is the only way in which we can actually address such situations like what happened at the time of the COVID. And this is something which we have done, and this is being recognized by many of the healthcare organizations, as well as other people like what has been mentioned in this, like the Harvard Business School and all. Considering the changing dynamics of the healthcare ecosystem, the industry is expected to be powered by technological innovation and greater usage of advanced methods for treatment and patient care. However, the most important limiting factor is the trained manpower, where there is acute shortage. There is also high attrition, especially among doctors and nurses. Most of the healthcare organizations have an annual attrition of over 35% in nursing, which needs to be brought down. At Aster, we consider it our responsibility to come up with best possible ways to bring this down by ensuring better benefits and career opportunities for nurses and the other staff, to improve our care portfolio and enhance our service standards. As has been mentioned and shown, along with these lines, we have brought the Aster Guardians Global Nursing Award, which in fact produced a lot of enthusiasm and confidence among our staff. And that is something which we will be continuing every year, as well as apart from that, we are also having many other programs for supporting our nurses and doctors. Even for the doctors, we are bringing in training programs through the Aster Academy, where we will be giving them opportunities to go into the management rather than just remaining in clinical care. So a lot of programs for harnessing the manpower and provide whatever is possible for them to develop themselves and be with us for the longest possible time. The most important components of any healthcare organizations are clinical and service excellence. I am proud to say that we have been at the top of this in the geographies we operate in and have placed at the highest pedestal in both GCC and India. We have all our hospitals across geographies now accredited by reputed bodies like JCI or NABH, and we continuously receive many awards in patient safety, clinical excellence, innovation, technology. The Times of India newspaper ranked one of our hospitals in India, the Aster Medcity at Kochi, at number 5 position in the country. Our hospitals in both India and Dubai were included in the list of world's 200 best hospitals by the reputed international magazine Newsweek. LinkedIn, in its recent survey, adjudged Aster among the top 5 companies to work in the UAE. Backed by strategic endeavors, we continue to sustain robust financial performance despite the challenges. For the year under review, our revenue was 10,252 crores, a growth of 19% over the previous year. Revenue from our India operation was at rupees 2,384 crore, an increase of 44% from rupees 1,650 crore in financial year 21. Revenue from GCC operation was at 7,870 crores from rupees 6,950 crore in 2011, an increase of 13%. We also recorded EBITDA of rupees 1,480 crore with a healthy margin of 14.5% in financial year 22 as compared to EBITDA of rupees 1,063 crore, an increase of 40% year on year with margin of 12.3% in financial year 21. EBITDA for India operations have increased significantly from 144 crore in financial year 21 to rupees 350 crore, a significant increase of 145%. GCC EBITDA has increased 23% from rupees 913 crores in 2011 to rupees 1,130 crore in financial year 22. We are continuously elevating avenues for growing and expanding our business and uncovering new opportunities for forging strategic ties in the GCC regions and India. In India, our focus now lies on raising our share of revenues from our existing business through better sweating of our assets. This is evident from the growth in revenue and profitability year on year. While India contributed 25% of the group EBITDA this year, the strategy is to grow this to an approximately 40% of the overall revenue in the next 3 years. To achieve the same, we are deploying strategies involving a healthy mix of focused cluster approaches, new revenue streams like low capex operations management of hospitals, along with inorganic growth. During the year, we introduced a new structure in India with 5 clusters, namely the Kerala cluster, Karnataka and Maharashtra cluster, Andhra and Telangana cluster, Pharmacy cluster, and Aster Lab cluster. These businesses are driven by independent business heads and have produced significant traction in revenues and profits for us. The strategy is to build larger facilities in tier 1 cities while developing affordable healthcare options in smaller towns on an asset-light model. With regards to hospitals, during the year under review, we started a dedicated 77-bed women and children hospital wing at our Aster MIMS hospital in Kerala, which added to existing 244 bed capacity at the facility in Kottakkal. This launch is part of our strategy to provide specialized care for women and children in boutique facilities attached to our hospitals. In Kolhapur, Maharashtra, we have operationalized 24 additional beds this year as part of Aster Aadhar Hospital's expansion. More recently, in May 22, we started operations of our 140-bed Aster Mother Hospital in Ajikot in Kerala. We are also planning to expand capacity in our other hospitals in Kerala. In terms of capacity increase in financial year 23, Phase 2 expansion consisting of 275 beds at Aster Whitefield Specialty Hospital is expected to be completed in financial year 23. In addition to this, we also expect to add 500 to 800 beds via an asset-light model in the tier 2 towns by taking over operations and management of existing hospitals. In Kasaragod, Kerala, we have signed the lease agreement to build a 200-bed tertiary care hospital, multi-specialty hospital project, which is also expected to complete by financial year 25. Phase 1 of the Aster Capital Hospital at Trivandrum, Kerala, which will be a 350-bed facility initially, has been announced, which is expected to be completed by financial year 26. We also have a 500-bed Aster KLE Hospital, Bangalore in plan, which is expected to be ready by the year financial year 26. Aster Labs has built strong presence in Karnataka and Kerala and has also expanded its presence to Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. As of March 31st, 2022, there were 2 reference labs, 12 satellite labs, and 100 patient experience centers. We have an aggressive growth plan and aim to expand our reach of 38 labs and around 400 experience centers by the end of financial year 23, which will also involve further expansion into other geographies. In our pursuit to generate new revenue streams, we acquired majority stake in Hindustan Pharma Distributors Private Limited, marking our venture into the pharmacy business to optimize our supply chain functions of hospitals and franchised retail pharmacies. We have entered into an agreement with Alpha One Retail Pharmacy Limited, ARPPL, to license the Aster Pharmacy brand to run retail pharmacies and online pharmacy operations. During financial year 22, ARPPL forayed into Telangana, Karnataka, and Kerala. As on 31st March 2022, we have 131 operational pharmacies serving 2.1 lakh customers in India. We plan to further expand the retail pharmacy footprint to over 200 pharmacies by the end of financial year 23. I'm glad to inform you that day after tomorrow, in fact, we are starting our 200th pharmacy in Trivandrum in Kerala. It will be inaugurated, inshallah, on day after tomorrow. Moving to GCC operations, the revenue from the region stood at 7,870 crore in financial year 22 as compared to rupees 6,950 crore in financial 21, with a growth of 13%, as has been mentioned already. The strong financial performance has come on the back of our robust operational performance. Aster was one of the first private players in UAE to introduce a telemedicine facility, which saw tremendous growth. We also leveraged our capabilities to provide advanced care for patients in ICU through tele-ICU services. This reiterates our 34th Foundation Day promise that care is just an Aster away. With regards to GCC Hospital, we had the soft launch of the 101-bed Aster Hospital in Sharjah in the month of April 22. We will be commissioning the 145-bed hospital in Muscat, Oman in financial year 23. In Qatar, we are also planning to have a 60-bed expansion to our existing facility, which is currently in its design stage. One of the most important strategic initiatives is the digital transformation of the company, which we are taking forward with Bain as consultants. And this has been going for a year. During the year, we did a few limited launches of our Aster Super app in GCC, and we are continuing to enhance the features. The app is now live in some of the UAE clinics, but in the financial year 22-23, we shall cover GCC units and come to India as well. This will have significant impact on our business growth, providing an omni-channel approach for all our services, including clinics, hospitals, pharmacies, labs, home care, across all geographies. At Aster, we believe that our responsibility of ensuring sustained growth goes beyond our operations to ensure societal growth through spearheading ESG activities. We consider environmental leadership as long-term strategic imperative and are involved very deeply in community connect through the Aster Volunteers program in many geographies, including India, the GCC region, Africa, and among other places. You have seen most of this in the video, so I'm not going to elaborate. We have had a lot of awards and all coming in our way now, including the Corporate Knights Award. So we are extremely happy that apart from whatever we are doing, this is also being recognized internationally. To sum up, I am delighted that we continue to build a company that has clinical excellence and patient experience as a core offering, while we also continue to work on improving profitability and generate earnings for our shareholders, and focusing on sustainability by implementing best practices through ESG to meet the UN Sustainable Development Goals. For all our achievements, I am extremely grateful to our employees, customers, shareholders, and our directors who have been supporting us and who have remained steadfast with us. I remain confident that the new business strategies, especially the digital transformation, about which Alisha will speak more, will make Aster one among the best in the healthcare sector in the regions we serve. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Great.
Alisha?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Dear shareholders, I would just like to go into a little bit more detail into some of the operational matters that Chairman spoke about. Aster DM Healthcare, it's yet again reinstated what we believe is our leadership position this year in providing premium healthcare services to our patients. In another year of fighting adversity through collaboration and resilience, our team's resolve to work together in these stressful times has helped us to provide the best clinical care to those who entrust us with their health. The year was marked by strategic delivery and progress. As Chairman mentioned, significant investments have been made into digital solutions, which really enabled us to explore innovative avenues for delivering relevant services to our patients. Our digital foray, we truly believe, will help us in providing comprehensive patient care, which really will be a seamless hybrid model between physical and digital. As part of our digital transformation journey, we continue to build and expand the use case of our app, MyAster, a unified mode of engagement with our patient base. The app is launched with the endeavor to be a primary omni-channel mode of engagement with patients, which allows us to have a very unique integrated view of the patient care across all the healthcare touchpoints. We have launched our initial version for a limited target audience to gather feedback and enhance the app's feature and improve its user interface. The fully operational version of the app will be available to the public by late FY23. We've already launched and we've seen in this financial year close to 100,000 people have downloaded it in the last 2 months. The app has given us outstanding results with our patient base, and we are seeing it rising threefold with the customer count doubling in a span of the 3 months of the launch. We plan to replicate this omni-channel care model in top core markets of India post the successful launch in the UAE in a phased approach by Q3, Q4 of the next financial year. Riding on the digitization wave, we've also set up the Aster Global Center a year back. Numerous process improvement plans have been implemented, thereby making processes agile across most of our major back office functions like finance, accounts, procurement, HR, IT, revenue cycle management, to name a few. We right now have 350 people which are operating from 3 different locations in India, Bengaluru, Calicut, and Gurgaon. And AGC is poised to become 600 people strong by the end of FY23. Not only has AGC acted as a business continuity process location for all critical processes, but it's also slowly becoming a go-to location for our new implementations. We want it to be a center of innovation in the coming years, piloting some of the critical and important admin processes and products for Aster. We're determined to continue to use our digital foray to deliver comprehensive patient care, and we have more launches lined up, one of the major ones being the Data Lake Digital Initiative. This cross-vertical data lake is to leverage on native data across all our verticals and will help in unlocking cross-vertical opportunities as well as engagement and better care for our patients and our customers. We really want to have one true unique view of our patients, and this data lake will enable us to have that. This shall have use cases across clinical, operations, marketing for us. We're working with some technology partners, and we have already started the work on this year. In terms of hospital expansion in the GCC, as the chairman mentioned, we've had the 101-bed Aster Hospital Sharjah, which commenced operations in April 2022. We also expect to commission the Aster Hospital in Oman in this quarter, in Q2 FY23. We're also expanding our present facility in Qatar by an additional 60 beds. With regards to some of the new business initiatives, we are aware that we need to innovate and explore new business models which involve sharing risk and rewards that will help make our business much more sustainable and more resilient. We're working on such models with our insurance payers in the GCC. We've recently launched a joint product with insurance company for a lower income group. While these are still at nascent stage, these would be critical for us to remain relevant in the coming years. As part of an increased focus on medical tourism with regards to the GCC growth strategy, in the last quarter, we were able to attract and treat multiple cases from close by countries for gene therapy, especially from Turkey. We've been able to provide vaccination and cure to children suffering from SMA, which is quite a niche and advanced therapy. To also further our growth in the pharmacy business in GCC, we are exploring the franchise model for the pharmacies, as well as looking at more expansion feasibility in Jordan and in Bahrain. With regards to UAE specifically, which is one of our core markets, we are actively investing into widening our range of offerings by setting up clinics which are focused on wellness, where we shall have a wide range of services which includes functional medicine, aesthetics, cosmetics. This again goes to look at focusing on the medical tourists that come into this market in the GCC as well, and growing cash-related businesses like dental and mental health. We're also planning to add an additional 1,000 doctors in GCC for Aster brands through modern trade channels. As far as India is concerned, we're planning to add around 1,300 beds in the next 2 to 3 years, which is namely in Kasaragod, Trivandrum, and Bengaluru. We're planning to reach 300 pharmacy stores, 38 labs, and 400 patient experience center by the end of FY23. Our business units, as Chairman mentioned, is adopting the ESG model very actively. The key aspects of our environmental pillar, it includes the energy efficiency, water optimization, circularity, and climate action. Through multiple energy and efficiency initiatives, we were able to reduce 1,700 megawatt hours of electricity across our hospitals in GCC. We continue to reuse the treated wastewater at multiple hospitals in India, thus recycling almost 270,000 of kiloliters of treated effluent. Across our hospitals in GCC in India, we recycled close to 86,000 kgs of waste, thus contributing to the circular economy. Through the reduction of energy and water consumption, as well as the integration of renewable energy, we're looking towards reducing our carbon footprint. Approximately 750 total carbon dioxide reduction was achieved during this year. We initiated the solar PV project of 1.4 megawatt peak that is estimated to generate 2,300 megawatt hours of clean energy annually across 4 hospitals of ours in the UAE. Our people strategy focuses on the welfare of our employees as well as our communities, nurturing a very diverse workforce that is instrumental to our success. People from more than 70 nationalities work with us, out of which 57% are women. The ASTA Volunteers, as you saw in the video earlier, which is our global CSR program, has impacted more than 3 million lives in this financial year. We have had close to 600,000 beneficiaries through our 22 ASTA mobile medical vans, which are operational in the 9 countries. As Chairman mentioned, we have had the 250 homes which were built for the Kerala floods, and a lot of treatment support that was given through the ASTA DM Foundations and the MIMS Charitable Trust. Our ESG strategy is firmly rooted in our ESG policy and the annual operating plan developed for all our verticals and all our business, our values, our code of conduct, CSR policy, and multiple procedures such as whistleblower, anti-corruption, anti-discrimination, steered through the CSR committee, form the backbone of our ESG governance. And this has resulted in getting a lot of regional, national, and international accolades for us as well. We take our social responsibility seriously, and our efforts are in line with our testament to our commitment. We take up several initiatives to make sure not just the well-being of our patients, but also all the communities that we serve. To celebrate our 35 years of service and to keep in line with our commitment to support and empower the underprivileged population, ASTA Volunteers, our social contribution arm, provides free and subsidized treatment to thousands every year. The difficulties of the preceding last 2 years have only reinforced our commitment to keep ASTA on the path of an inclusive growth. As we forge ahead to deliver valuable service to our patients and our society, we are very grateful for the support and the trust of our stakeholders. I'm thankful to each of our stakeholders for their unwavering belief in our company and look forward to their continued support and confidence in the years to come. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, can I ask Hamish to take forward the further proceedings? Hamish?
Being held through. Am I audible?
Yes, we can
Yes, sir,
hear
you
you.
are.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. Members may note that the meeting is being held through video conference in accordance with the Companies Act and the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. The facility of participation in the AGM through video conferencing facility is being made available to all the members, and the procedure has been detailed in the AGM notice. The company has received requests from few members who have registered themselves to speak at the meeting. Accordingly, the floor will be opened for these members to ask questions. The moderator will facilitate this session once Chairman opens the floor for question and answers. Members can also post their views or questions on the chat box tab on the video conference screen anytime up to 12:30 p.m. The register of members, the register of directors and KMP and other documents have been made available electronically for the inspection by the members during the AGM. As the meeting is being held through video conference, the facility for appointing proxy is not available, and hence the proxy register is not available for inspection. The company has provided the facility to cast votes electronically on all resolutions set forth in the notice. Members who have not yet cast their votes and who are participating in the meeting will have the opportunity to cast their votes through the e-voting system provided by NSDL during the meeting. Members can click the voting tab on the video conference screen to avail this facility. Those shareholders who have cast their vote through remote e-voting prior to the AGM can also attend the AGM but shall not be entitled to cast their votes again. Thank you. I now request the chairman to conduct the proceedings of the meeting.
Yeah. So I would like to take up the items given in the notice of the 14th Annual General Body Meeting. Item number 1 of the notice. The first item of the notice is to receive, consider, and adopt the audited standalone financial statements of the company, including the audited consolidated financial statements for the financial year ended 31st March 2022, together with the report of the Board of Directors and auditors thereon. This item forms a part of the ordinary business and it is proposed to be passed as an ordinary resolution. Item number 2 of the notice. The second item of the notice is to appoint a director in place of Mr. Shamsuddin bin Muhyiddin Mammu Haji, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for reappointment. This item forms a part of the ordinary business and it is proposed to be passed as an ordinary resolution. Item number 3 of the notice. The third item of the notice is to seek your ratification for the remuneration payable to Messrs. Jitendra Navneet and Company, auditors for the financial year 2022 and 23, as proposed in the notice. This item forms a part of the special business and it is proposed to be passed as an ordinary resolution. Since I am interested in the fourth and fifth agenda items, with the permission of the members present, I request Professor Biju Worki to chair and conduct the proceedings of this meeting. These items.
Thank you, Dr. Asad. Item number 4 of the notice. The fourth item of the notice is to seek your approval for payment of remuneration to Dr. Mandyapurat Azad Moopen, DIN 00159-403, Managing Director of the company, effective December 1, 2022 to April 14, 2023. This item forms a part of the special business and it is proposed to be passed as a special resolution. Item number 5 of the notice. The fifth item of the notice is to seek your approval for reappointment of Dr. Mandyapurat Azad Moopen, DIN 00159-403, as Managing Director of the company for a term of 3 years with effect from April 15, 2023. This item forms a part of the special business and it is proposed to be passed as a special resolution. Thank you. I now request Dr. Asad to chair and conduct remaining proceedings of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Professor Biju. Now we will take questions from the shareholders. To avoid repetition, the answers to all the questions shall be provided towards the end. Members may also note that the company reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending upon the availability of time. Over to Himish.
Thank you, Chairman. Dear shareholders, before we begin the question and answer session, we have few points to be noted for your convenience. The name of the shareholders who have registered to speak at the AGM shall be announced in turns by the moderator. You are requested to state your name, folio number, DPID and client ID, and place from where you are joining the meeting, and then proceed to speak. Each shareholder will be given 3 minutes for their questions. To avoid repetition, the Board of Directors shall respond to all the questions at the end. In case there is a connectivity problem with any shareholder, then the next shareholder will be asked to join. Once the connectivity improves, the shareholder will be called again. I now request the moderator to please connect the shareholder speakers.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. We will take our first question. That's from Rajesh Kaimal, speaker number 1. He's connected via an audio call. Rajesh, could you please unmute your audio and proceed with your question?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rajesh. My client ID and DP ID is 12047 200 144 95351. Before I ask my question, I would like to congratulate the company and its management for its excellent performance last year. I don't want to take much of the time. I have two questions. My first question is, what is company's expansion plan for India? And second question is, since the company is in making profits, when will the company be able to declare the dividend? Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker member, Mr. George Kutti, had registered, however, has not connected to the meeting. We will therefore move to our speaker number 3. That's from Chandravati Gatani. Request you to please unmute your audio, ma'am, and proceed with your question.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can
Hello.
hear.
Am I audible? Hello.
Ms. Gatani, we can hear you. Please proceed
Hello.
with your question.
Okay. Very good afternoon to our respected chairman, sir. Gold medalist in MBBS, and he has been awarded organization excellence during one of the toughest years pandemic. And very good afternoon to our other members present in the meeting. And my heartiest welcome to all of you in this AGM. I'm Chandravati Gatani, equity shareholder from Kolkata. So, our company, Aster DM Healthcare, is a publicly traded Indian conglomerate healthcare provider founded in 1987 by the Sir Ajat Musin, who hails from Kerala, India. The company is registered in India. Aster DM currently operates hospital, diagnostic center, medical center, and pharmacy, and provides healthcare service to patients across economic segments in several GCC states through various brands such as Aster, Medcare, and Access. Sir, in spite of challenging circumstances, our company continues to sustain robust financial performance. Revenue from India operation from GCC operation was increased. We also recorded a EBITDA of 1,480 crore with healthy margin of 14.5%. Company also reducing debt. Book value per share improving for last year, 2 years. I hope company able to generate net cash in upcoming years. And to honor and expect our gratitude to the not coming.
Some disturbance in understanding. So there is some disturbance. I'm not able to completely clearly understand you. Some part of it is not becoming clear.
Ms. Gathani, if you're on a headset or a headphone, can you switch to handset mode and speak on your mobile?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Please go ahead. The last
Hello.
part.
To honor and express our gratitude to the nurse community, you started the Aster Rajyan Global Nursing Award, which will be an annual event. This event which helps to enhance our awareness about the noble profession of nursing and encourage many youngsters to take up the profession. And our company also received many awards in patient safety, clinical excellence, innovation, technology, etc.
Yeah. I don't know whether.
Strategic initiatives.
we are able to hear that clearly.
Should we ask, maybe reconnect Ms. Gathani? Maybe we can ask her to repeat the question. We'll call
Or
her again.
ask her to send it by WhatsApp or by some method so that we can get the question clearly. You know.
Or
Sure.
can she
Ms.
put it on the
Gathani,
chat?
Yeah.
Hello.
Ms. Gathani, we would request you to send in your questions separately because we are not able to understand you clearly. Your audio is a bit muffled.
Okay.
So maybe we can
let
move
us,
to the next question in the
move to
meanwhile.
the next question, and then we will try to get her question and answer that. She initially
Sure.
we understood she was appreciating. Then what the question I haven't understood clearly.
Sure. In the meanwhile, we'll take our next question. That's from Gautam Nandi. Please go ahead.
Am I audible and visible, sir?
Yeah. We can see you. Please go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon and namaskar. Respected
Namaskar.
chairperson, board of directors, and my online fellow shareholders. Myself, Gautam Nandi of Kolkata, the city of joy, very old equity shareholder of the company. Sir, firstly, I like to give thanks to your secretariat department for sending me annual report and other necessary relevant papers through email well in advance. And also thanks for connecting me in this VC platform in a very smooth manner. So especially thanks to our respected company secretary and the whole team of your secretariat department for rendering very good services to our minority shareholders. So thanks again. Sir, you are organizing your annual thanks. Sir, you are organizing your annual general meeting through video conference for the third time, and I find it is a grand success like the previous years. Sir, we are passing through a very tough and pandemic situation. But I find in this pandemic situation, our company's performance is very good. You are also giving dividend, little bit dividend, I must say, from your end we are getting. Sir, dividend में छोटा बड़ा कुछ नहीं होता है, dividend ही होता है. This is a honor from your side to the minority shareholders, which we accept gladly, sir. No problem. Or sir, I like to ask, what is your roadmap for the next 3 to 4 years? Sir, your annual report is very attractive and also very informative. Sir, in this context, I like to suggest please issue hard copy of annual report at least for the speaker shareholders. And one thing more, which is very important, please also mention speaker's serial number with your link. This is very important for us at least. Please maintain it and please note it down, sir. Sir, please tell me, have you given the booster dose to each and every employee of your company? If not, please arrange immediately because the employees are the pillars of our company, sir. Sir, now the face value of your company shares is ₹10 per each. I like to ask, is there any plan for split up the equity share from ₹10 to ₹5 or ₹2 or ₹1? Please tell us. सर, अभी तो डिविडेंड कुछ मिला नहीं, बोनस मिल नहीं रहा है, कोई राइट रिजनेबल प्राइस में मिल नहीं रहा है, ठीक है, कोई इशू नहीं. अभी जो पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन है ये अगर नॉर्मल हो जाएंगे, जब सब कुछ ठीक ठाक हो जाएंगे, हमारा उम्मीद है कि हमारा कंपनी और भी आगे जाएंगे और हम लोग को राइट, बोनस, डिविडेंड सब कुछ मिलेगा. इसलिए नो प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ फैक्टर्स. सर, आई एम वेरी प्राउड टू बी अ शेयरहोल्डर ऑफ योर कंपनी and I am very hopeful towards the prospect of our company, sir. Sir, I have full trust with our strong management, sir, like you. Sir, आप जब है हम लोग का पूरा उम्मीद है सर, जो कंपनी कहाँ से कहाँ ले जाएंगे आप. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं सर. And so I wholeheartedly support your all resolutions. Not only me, along with family, I have already casted through my e-voting in favor of you. Obviously, I must say. Sir, I am very happy with your company. Nothing to say more today. Looking forward with a positive outlook towards our company with higher profit margin, handsome dividend, bonus and return. Sir, may God bless you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Namaskar, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Signing off.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nandi. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Swaran Lata. Swaran Lata, could you please unmute your audio and proceed with your question?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chairman Sir and Board of Directors and fellow shareholders attending the e-meeting. Congratulations to the management and all the staff for providing excellent results during the COVID pandemic in financial year 22. There is no doubt in the financial statements of annual report and I have full faith in the management since I am the authority of the shares of IPO. So first of all, I would like to know that in this improved scenario in domestic market after the pandemic, how will you reward the shareholders in financial year 23? Second, what steps has the board taken to monitor that shareholders' interests are being protected? At last, thank you very much to Mr. Purushottamji, Company Secretary, who provided the copy of annual report to me, just in one request, and for allowing me to put up my points in the meeting. And I hope the management will continue to hold the AGM through VC in future also, which enables the shareholders like me residing at faraway places to join the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from MV Babu George. Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello,
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
I am Babu George, attending the meeting from California, USA. A very good morning and good evening from California. First of all, my congratulations to the Dr. Asad Mopan and other dedicated director board members for the splendid performance during the year. I am glad to hear the news that you are going to open 5 clusters in different parts of Kerala as well as in other states. Moreover, your information that you are going to open a hospital on the border Kasargod in the near future is also a welcome step. In this occasion, I wish to give your attention that the profit of the company is only 90.18 crores. Even though there is the turnover increase and lot of patients are attending the hospital, there is the growth of profit is very meager. I can't understand what is the reason behind this. I request the chairman and managing director to give special attention towards the shareholder patients who are approaching the hospital. Please give concession discount of 20% to the shareholders or their relatives attending the hospitals. Moreover, in the next year at least, please declare a bonus share to all the shareholders. Also request that the condition of the ordinary shareholders are very miserable due to pandemic situation for the last 2 years and again this year due to heavy rain and other diseases spreading in different parts of Kerala and other parts of India. So the declaration of dividend as an interim dividend in the festival season is a very good gesture to the shareholders. I also request the chairman, under your CSR initiative, please consider our Panchayat Chittatiyara, one of the backward Panchayats of Ernakulam district in North Parvur Taluk. There are a number of poor people residing there. Please allot some funds from your CSR funds for the benefit of the poor and needy people belonging to your own district. Since you belongs to Ernakulam district and this Chittatiyara and North Parvur is very near to your house, please consider as a priority, and I hope you will consider my request favorably. Another important thing I wish to raise is nowadays lot of youth people between 40 and 35 are fell down while walking, and after within 5 or 6 minutes death is occurred. This is a common feature. In Kerala itself, this year at least 30 people died like that. Most of the people above 30 and 45. One of the reason it is reported that due to calcium deposit and wasting of calcium resulted in their death, blocking the artery. That is reported. Hence, in your medical checkup, please include this calcium deposit scanning. That is a must. Please consider, because most of the people fell down and within 5 minutes they are expired. So, as a person who is very much fond of the health of the people of this country as well as abroad, please take a top priority for this case. And I also
Sorry to
request.
interrupt.
Hello.
Sorry to interrupt. Mr. George, may we request you to please finish your question quickly, because there are several participants waiting for their turn.
Yes, I will complete. Okay. And I request Mr. Dr. Mopan to consider my questions, my suggestions favorably. Wishing you all a very happy Onam. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We will go through this and answer. Thank you.
Thank you. So we've been able to get Chandravati Gatani's connection back on the call on a different number. So we'll just unmute her connection. Ms. Gatani, you can proceed with your question.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Sir, I am very glad to be a shareholder of this company. And sir, पता नहीं मेरे को आप कहाँ तक मैं बोलूँ क्या आप समझे नहीं आ रहा मेरे को जो भी हो मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. In spite of challenging circumstances, our company continue to sustain robust financial performance. बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस है. और सर सबसे अच्छा चीज है कि ये जो डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द कंपनी विथ one of the most strategic initiatives. Use of one Esther, a unified mode of engagement with our patient base. To have review a view of patient care. ये चीज सबसे अच्छा लगा सर, और थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। पता नहीं अब मैं कहाँ से क्या बोलूँ, और आपको भी कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन कि आपके अवार्ड के लिए की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्सीलेंस ड्यूरिंग वन ऑफ द टफेस्ट ईयर COVID-19 and pandemic. And thank you to our secretary team and our coach team to join me again. And our secretary sir, he has a great excellence of his subject. ठीक है, ओके सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, थैंक यू।
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll invite our last speaker member. That's Mr. Ghanshyam Singh. He's connected via an audio call. Mr. Ghanshyam Singh, please proceed with your question.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes,
sir.
yes. You can hear.
Hello. Good morning to all of you. I'm Ghanshyam Singh, attending the meeting from the Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Firstly, thank you whole team who helped me to connect with the chairman, sir. So my questions are, as we know, the company listed on stock exchange in the year of 2018. So all shares issued in the demat form, right? In the shareholding pattern of the company, 34,46,667 shares in physical mode. Can I know the whose shares are in the physical mode and why these are not dematerialized yet? My second question is, in the annual return of the company, CFO Mr. Srinath Prasad's salary mentioned 0. It means CFO is working without salary for the company. Can I know this about that? And my third question is, in the secretary audit report of the company, auditor of the company has observed that the company has not complied with the regulation 17(1)(b) of the SEBI LODR for some time. Can I know the reason of the same? And last request from my side, that in the COVID season, healthcare industry was in the boom, and in the recently the operation income from operation is very good, so we can expect some corporate action from your side like bonus and dividend. Thank you very much, sir. All the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ghanshyamji. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that was the last question. I now hand over the proceedings to Dr. Azad Moopen. Over to you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will take it from here.
Yeah.
So thank you, shareholders, for your questions. While we provide your answers to your questions shortly, I request the moderator to play a video to share the work done by our CSR arm Aster volunteers and our Aster Guardians Global Nursing Award Initiative.
Ladies and gents, please put your hands together for our top 10 finalists.
Doctors are the brain of the healthcare system, but nurses are the heart and soul of healthcare system.
Congratulations to Aster, DM Health, and to Dr. Azad Moopen for driving forward this initiative.
The winner of the award goes to Anna Kubala Dubao.
This is a win for Africa. This is a win for Kenya. And above all, it's a win for the girls and women in the rural villages. Thank you so much.
I just want to tell you that we are extremely privileged to have you here on this fine occasion. 35 years is a pretty long time in the life of a person, definitely, even in the life of an organization.
പ്രായമായി പറ്റാത്തളം നേരെ മൊത്തം പൊളിഞ്ഞിട്ടൊന്നുമില്ല വീട്ടിന്. നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് നന്ദി. ഈ വീട് വെച്ച് തന്നതിലേക്ക് ദൈവത്തിന് ഏറ്റവും ഒരുപാട് നന്ദി.
Welcome back, shareholders. I now hand over the proceedings to Mr. Hemish Purushottam. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Dear shareholders, we'll try to respond to all the questions raised in the meeting. However, the shareholders can write to the company on the designated email addresses given in the website of the company for any further questions and queries they may have. Now we will take up the queries raised by the shareholders.
Yeah.
So the first question by shareholder was on the expansion plan for India. Also, there was a question about the roadmap for the next 3 years. So I request the chairman and Alisha to kindly answer the query.
Thank you, Hamish, and thanks a lot to everyone for this very good questions. And you have spent a lot of time researching and finding about the company, as well as also the compliments. Most of you had showered compliments on us. We really appreciate that. The important question of expansion plans for India. See, as you might be noticing from the performance, India is the growth market. And that is going to be like that for many decades, maybe 25 years, 50 years. So we are refocusing to India. Unlike the earlier time, we were focusing GCC and more business there. We had just 10% business in GCC and 90% in GCC and 10% in India. Now it has gone to a 25 to 30%. Our plan is that we should have 40% of our top line and profits coming from India in the next 3 to 4 years. That is how we are doing the capital allocation and looking at the business. And it is doing going in that direction by whatever we are seeing each quarter. No, it's going in that direction with excellent growth happening in all the clusters that we have in Kerala, in Karnataka. All these clusters is doing extremely well. So the plan for growth in India, the roadmap is very, very clear. We want to be in South India where we already are present. We don't want to spread thin and go to other geographies like the North or Northeast or North India and all. We'll be focusing more on South India and the West. Now, even here, the overall strategy revolves around our existing hospitals, which is presently 14, but that will increase every year by 3 or 4, and we will be reaching 25 to 30 hospitals in the next 3 to 4 years. And along with that, we have this now we have rolled out our pharmacies as well as the labs. So these are an extension of the hospitals, and this will connect the patients, especially for primary care, with our hospitals. And along with that, we also have now the home care, which is another very important part which will help people, especially after they are discharged. Now, connecting all this together, the MyAster app, which shall be rolled out like what Alisha was telling in the next 6 to 8 months, will make a huge difference for the customers. No, it will be an ecosystem where Aster will be connected with the customers in the regions where we are operating through different ways, not only the hospitals, not only the pharmacies, not the clinics, not the labs, but everything together will be coming under this app, and people can get a one-stop answer there and omni-channel. And that will, according to us, drive the business up significantly, and it will be much more than what each business separately can do. So answering the question, what the roadmap and plan for India, India has to grow to about 40% of the total business of Aster, and it will happen through this ecosystem of multiple services being tied up through the app, which also definitely will provide also telemedicine. So that is the answer regarding the plan for India. And regarding GCC, Alisha, if you can just add.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman. So I think just extending to what Chairman mentioned, we are focusing a lot more disproportionately on India because that is where the opportunity lies. We will continue to maintain the growth and leadership position we have in some of our core markets like UAE, in Oman, in Qatar. So those would be more about optimizing the core and maintaining the position. But as far as large scale capital investments, we have not penciled a significant investment after these 2 hospitals which are going live this year on the plan. For us, there is a strategic goal to shift our ratio of business to digital, at least 15% of our business coming from digital in the next 3 to 4 years. I think that's how we see healthcare evolving, especially the primary market of clinics and the pharmacies. So we want to make sure we become the digital healthcare leaders in this space. In a longer term horizon, we are making small investments into Saudi on a low capex model because that is a market which has potential. But we do want to make sure that they are not heavy investments. So we're again looking at more on the pharmacy or primary care. So I think as Chairman mentioned, overall at a global Aster level, the idea is to shift the focus for a larger proportion of the business to come from India. And then as far as GCC is concerned, it's more about optimizing the core and then making sure 15% of the business in the next 3-4 years come from digital. Hope that gives the...
Yes, thank you, Chairman Alisha. The next question is on declaration of dividend and issue of bonus shares. So I request Mr. Srinath Reddy, CFO, to kindly answer this query.
Yeah, thanks, Hemish. Yeah, so there was also another question wherein it was said that the profit of the company is 90.18 crore. So the reference here by the shareholder is to the standalone company profits. The standalone company just forms part of the entire total operations. It's just a small part of the entire operations. But if you look at the consolidated profit, our profit for the year was 601.05 crore. And post the minority interest, that is post NCI, it is 525.99 crores. So therefore, we will have to look at the consolidated, on a consolidated basis. Now coming to the dividend part of it, the law, the statutory provisions are such that they go just by this standalone company financials, and a standalone company is small compared to our consolidated operations, and we have got accumulated losses in the standalone company. So as per the statutory provisions, unless the accumulated losses are wiped out, we will not be in a position to declare dividend. However, the good news is that this year we should be able to, with the profits that we are likely to make this year, hopefully we should be able to wipe out these accumulated losses on the standalone basis, and therefore going forward, payout of dividend would be possible, subject to the approval of the board. In terms of the bonus and split, bonus and split is something which can be done, but the board will take an appropriate decision at the appropriate time, if and when if this bonus and split is required.
Thank you. Thank you, Srinath. Thanks a lot. So the whole issue is that we also feel many times, no, we have the money, especially in GCC, and there are profits being made, but the India standalone company is in loss because it has created huge infrastructure, invested into many hospitals. So the recurring loss that is coming from that is the one which is producing the problem. But like Srinath said, this year we hope that this will be wiped out, and from next year onwards, we hope that there is opportunity for declaration of dividend.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Srinath sir. Moving on to the next question. It is, how is the board is planning to protect the minority shareholders? For this question, I request Mr. James Matthew, Chairman of the Audit Committee and Stakeholders Relationship Committee, to answer the query.
Good morning, shareholders. I'm happy to answer this in two capacities, as Chairman on the Audit Committee as well as Chairman on the Stakeholder Committee. First of all, I would like to say that there are no pending matters which are yet to be resolved pertaining to the shareholders. That's on that happy note. I just would like to say that the majority of the directors on the board are independent directors, and I must say that we got a very active independent directors on the board. And with respect to the related party transaction is one area, as Chairman of the Audit Committee, as well as to just protect the interest of the minority shareholders, we would like to see that the related party transactions are reviewed on a quarterly basis. We have certifications. We go a bit deep into those areas. That's number one. Number three is to balance this, we got a very, very strong internal control mechanism and framework in place. The head of audit reports directly to the audit committee, and we are extremely happy with the way things are going. And also, maybe I would like to make a mention about the whistleblower policy, which is followed in the committee, in the company. I think we got a very, very strong policy, which is in the company. And that's it from my end. If there are anything, please feel free. We'll be able to answer you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, James. And we are extremely happy that the shareholders, minority shareholders' interests are protected very, very strongly and vehemently by the independent directors. And that's one of the most important priorities for the company also.
Thank you, Chairman. So moving on to the next question, it is, why are there physical shareholders still in the company? So I will be answering this question. So currently we have more than 70,000 shareholders, out of which we have currently only 14 physical shareholders. These shareholders are legacy shareholders who have been allotted shares pre-IPO and continue to hold shares. So the company has taken the initiative to contact these individual shareholders and has started assisting them to complete their demat holding. And soon we are targeting that we'll have no demat shareholders by next year or mid of next year. So moving on to the next question, it is, why is CFO salary is nil? So I would like to draw the attention of the shareholders to the annual report, page number 116. So our CFO draws his salary from the subsidiary company and does not draw any salary from the main listed company. Hence, it is shown as nil. However, we have disclosed the amount of remuneration that is being paid to him on page number 117. So Mr. Srinath Reddy receives a remuneration of AED 1.44 million and a variable incentive of AED 0.4 million during FY 21-22. I hope that answers the query. Moving on to the next question was with regard to a secretarial observation in the secretarial audit report. So during the previous year, there was a gap of 17 days where the composition of the independent directors was less than 50%. This was due to unavoidable reasons. During COVID, one of the directors had retired, and the company had well before time had selected an independent director, and we had contacted the independent director. However, since the independent director was in US, and at that time there was a huge COVID wave going on, due to unavoidable reasons, we could not complete the formalities like getting his DIN approved and getting things paperwork ready. So there was a 17-day delay in appointing his appointment. So during the meeting, there was no other, during this period, there was no board meeting. So there was no adverse effect on the working of the company due to this lapse. However, we can assure you that the company has taken steps to ensure that going forward this should not happen, even though this was unavoidable from our end due to COVID. So that's it from our end. If we have missed few questions, we would write to the shareholders individually and answer their queries.
So one of the things which I wanted to add, there was a question raised by Mr. Babu George from California. So some of the questions in that we have already answered. So he was checking about the premature death which is happening in youngsters in India, and the calcium deposits and matters like that. It's an unfortunate reality, not only in India but also in GCC. It's quite rampant among the youngsters. There are multiple reasons being quoted, but no clarity. But one good thing that has happened in the last 15 years is that because of the angioplasty becoming more and more available to people, including in our hospitals, they have ready access, and if they reach a hospital, they are saved. Otherwise, many of them used to go into cardiac failure or death and all. So then mortality and morbidity has come down significantly, but like what he said, still there are a lot of things to be done, and this is something which will have to be through diet, through more of awareness and things like that. I also wanted to address this question on CSR funding for Kerala. In fact, if you look at our overall CSR spend, largest part is being spent in Kerala. So even though we have the requirement to spend it across India as well as in GCC, because we have the largest presence in Kerala, we spent maximum amount in Kerala, that also in around our hospitals. So that part is taken care, and specifically if there is any requirement, request him to write to us so that we can look into that. So is there any specific question which is left out, Hemish? Yeah, I think we have answered.
That's it, Chairman. I think we largely answered all the questions.
Yeah. Okay, so if anybody has, they have any question which are unanswered or which they wanted to ask, request kindly to write to the company secretary, and we will definitely look into it and answer that.
Sure. So, Chairman, there was also one more query on the booster dose for all the employees.
Yeah. So, Alisha, you want to answer that regarding GCC?
Sure, Chairman. So I think that's a very valid question and very thoughtful. So in fact, we always say that we need to take care of our healthcare workers first. So in fact, we have been encouraging all our staff to and supported them to make sure that everyone is inoculated and also got their booster doses. There were obviously some people who couldn't, whether if they're nurses who are pregnant, or some people for personal reasons who don't want to. But I can say that the large majority, more than 95% of our population, is vaccinated. As Chairman mentioned, we have an issue with attrition. So sometimes with just new staff coming on board, it takes a little bit of time to make sure all of that is in order. But the large majority of our workforce is fully vaccinated along with the booster dose.
Thank you, Alisha. So I just want to tell you that we might have had the lowest mortality among the employees, and that is something which we are quite proud of because of the early vaccination drive that we started in India as well as in GCC. So we are very proud. In my speech, I mentioned about the 3 S. The first S is staff. So we knew that we have to protect the staff, and so we have taken that step early, and so that helped us a lot. Now, I think we have answered all the questions. If there are any further queries, please email to us and we will answer them separately. Members may note that the voting from NSDL will be made available for next 30 minutes. Members who have not yet cast their votes can cast their votes through e-voting system provided by NSDL. Members can click on the voting tab on the video conference screen to avail this facility. Mr. M. Damodaran, Practicing Company Secretary, has been appointed as the scrutinizer for supervising the e-voting process. The scrutinizer's report on the voting results will be available on the website of the company, and the same shall be disseminated to the stock exchange at the earliest. The resolutions as set forth in the notice shall be deemed to be passed today, subject to the receipt of the requisite number of votes. Now, on behalf of the board and the management, I thank the shareholders for their active participation in the meeting. I also thank all board members, employees, suppliers, bankers, and everyone for the committed and efficient services rendered by them towards the successful operation of the company. With your permission, I now declare the meeting as concluded.